to the full spectrum.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to RollPlay Far Verona, episode number 18. Hi, friends. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good face, Mark. I like that. Nice. Good. Very
Thanks.
thoughtful. What you thinking about, Mark? What you got going on?
Why? Just because I made a face?
Yeah,
Space
you
and
made the
stuff.
thinking face.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I kind of drew attention, didn't I? I drew aggro from Adam. Yeah, not much going down. I've been doing... What have I done since last week? Not a lot. I've been
have you
mainly
done?
doing NaNoWriMo. So I'm taking part in NaNoWriMo for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
What is that?
So NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month. So it's been going on for quite a while now. I think it's been going on for like 10 years or more. I'm not sure. Where basically the goal is you write 50,000 words by the end of November. And the idea is that it gets you in the habit of writing every day, but also not editing straight away, just getting it down on paper, and then you come back and you edit it later. And it's the idea of trying to get you in good writing habits. So I've been trying to do that. And then just doing D&D stuff, like always.
Yeah.
Working on that novel.
What you writing about? Can you give us a hint?
Yeah, I can give you a hint. So it's really kind of, I mean, considering what my first character in Far Verona was, you probably won't be that surprised. It's about fantasy mechs. So mechs powered by magic and kind of nonsense. And yeah, it takes like loads of mecha anime tropes and fantasy tropes and then does this.
What was that? There's an anime that is like fantasy giant robots. Escaflowne, maybe?
Escaflowne was, that's the first one I go to. That's a slightly older one. Yeah, that's pretty damn cool.
Nice.
Bit more sci-fi elements than that, but yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Fun. So is the intention of NaNoWriMo to like publish, or is it just an exercise?
I think some people use it as an exercise to get it down and then begin working on it with the aim to publish. But I think for most people, it's an exercise in developing the sort of like habit of writing every day, and then the habit of writing without fussing over it. You know, just getting a full story down and then going back and then editing it, because you can't. You know, with 50,000 words, you have to write something like, I think you have to write about 1,700 words a day in order to hit the target. So you don't really have the time to sit there and fuss over it, really. So, yeah.
I feel like a lot of people's writing experience is very heavily colored by whether or not they went to university. Like, I feel like people who went to university are better at writing more, but like it less than people who didn't. That's my experience with it, because it feels like for me, every time I try to sit down and like write anything, I'm like, oh God, I have to write X amount of 1,000 words in the next like however many hours, and I can't. It drives me crazy. But
yeah, it's the trying to schedule it is the hardest thing. Yeah, reading's the same. I force myself now to read every day, just because I have to set time aside to do it. So the only day I don't really get to do it is Far Verona Day and High Rollers Day, just because I'm normally up too late. So, but yeah, I think like for me, like the biggest thing I found is when I actually sit down, I'm fine. I can sit there for a few hours and write, no problem. It's the getting myself to sit down and do it is the biggest problem.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so, I think that's the case with any like habit, right? Like before you can get into it, you have to teach yourself like get over the first 5 minutes and then do the thing. So do you do anything to? I know a lot of people find that they get like distracted if they write on the same computer they use to play games or do other work. Do you have a way? Do you like turn off your internet? Do you do anything to keep yourself from getting distracted?
I think I'd probably be more effective if I like use my laptop, which can't run games or anything, and I went somewhere else to write. But I just write on the same computer, and I just basically turn everything off. Don't have any extra tabs open. All of my notes are in like a little handwritten journal, so I don't even need to like go on to look up my notes or anything like that. So I just have Google Docs or Scrivener open, and then I just sit there and write on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a rare case.
Scrivener's choice. I've used that before. It's very cool.
Scrivener's really cool. And I think it's free during NaNoWriMo. So if anybody wanted to give it a try, you can actually download it for free during NaNoWriMo.
You're only like 7 days behind. So you only have quick math, many thousands of words to catch up.
Bang on. Yeah. Look at that. Boom.
Thank you.
Right in there.
So are you gonna share what your mecha robot fantasy?
I'm probably going to share it with some close friends first, just because I'm not confident enough to share it to anybody else. But yeah, I'd probably once I've had a bit of time to work on it. It's something that I would like to maybe one day publish, but I know that I've got many years of practice and building up my skill before I'm ready to do that. So
yeah. Well, it's certainly a different environment for publishing like written material these days than it would have been like when NaNoWriMo started, right? Like you can put out a book on the like Amazon Marketplace, like a Kindle book, and it's very easy to publish. You can self-publish pretty relatively easy.
Super easy too.
I always thought that was interesting, and it would be fairly easy to like find an audience for it, because I think that's the other thing that sort of starting authors have trouble with, where they're like, cool, I wrote this novel and it's really good, but like I don't have anybody to show it to. Like I can put it on the Amazon Marketplace, but
that's the thing, right?
Like you have the whole internet who's like, I already know you. What else you got?
I've got a couple of friends who are authors who have written like some decent selling fantasy novels, and they basically, when I've talked to them about it, they've said, well, to be honest, if you can get your writing skill up, you probably won't have a problem with publishing because you already have an audience. Like you've already got a social media following, you've got a YouTube following. Publishers will see that and go, oh, well, we'll definitely sell books if we publish your book. Whether or not it's any good doesn't really matter. You'll sell us some books. So yeah, we'll publish your stuff, and then they'll take it from there. So it's kind of an interesting one where we're kind of, again, that social media influencer bubble has knock-on effects of.
Well, and I think this is something that everybody can kind of like speak to, is this idea of like being a content creator full time, but then also having a platform for other things that you're interested in, like Max's collection of musical instruments. When are you going to put out an album, Max? I mean, now that Mark has gone first and made us all look like lazy assholes because he's writing a book. What's everybody else been doing? Just drinking beers, sleeping in.
I guess I gotta put out a bluegrass album with my fucking jaw harp.
Hey, man, you already have the audio equipment to record yourself, and you can multi-track that thing.
It's true.
It would not surprise me. Get some backing tracks, release a single, put it on Spotify.
Other streamer who do music.
Yeah. What Max, have you been up to anything exciting since I saw you last night? What did you do today?
Not a lot. To be honest, I woke up and I took a shower and here I am. I don't know where my nail clipper is, and it's driving me insane because my nails are too long, and every time I fucking type on my keyboard, it's driving me mad. I don't know if anyone else gets like that, but
probably not to that. I mean, not to that degree, but I feel you.
Well, I mean, I'm not like, look,
so you're gonna be thinking about it. You're gonna be thinking about it the whole.
There's not like a whole bunch like extra, but for me, I get obsessive about it, and it's too much, and I feel too much of the nails on the keyboard. No one gives a shit about this. Move on to someone else.
That's not all right, Max has deferred his what he's been up to someone else. So how about you, Bronze Girl? What have you been up to? Do you also want to talk about your nails?
No, I don't. I'm not one of those people that's like super into nails and stuff like that. But what have I been up to? Oh, I guess that's what I've been up to. My starter kit launched. Yeah. For those of you who are familiar with starter kit, is what, season 2 that
That's right. I saw a picture of you looking like a huge badass.
Yeah. So essentially, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, starter kit is something that Geek and Center has been doing for a while, where typically they have the creator of a tabletop RPG come out and record a bunch of episodes on how to play that RPG in the form of like a mini series, and it's supposed to like, kind of teach you how to play. Well, they decided to change up the formula, and instead of having the creators of Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition come through, they had me do the starter kit for the new one. Yeah,
so
and it
cool.
just came out. Yeah, I recorded it over like about 2 months ago. So if you watched my one shot here and you're like, oh, that's really cool, I want to do my own campaign, which almost always happens. Now you can watch my starter kit. It's on YouTube and Alpha, and you can learn how to play. So that was kind of cool. So I guess that's what I've been up to this week.
Well, I guess they've been doing a ton of vampire stuff, so it's a real good time for them, and I'm glad that they brought somebody cool on and not like tried to resurrect the like people who made Vampire, because I feel like it's better to get someone who knows the game and is comfortable on camera than getting just a game designer and being like, go do it, explain your game.
Right. And I think Jason Carl does do their stream version of it, and I think he's one of the people that made it. But so it's kind of cool, I guess. That's what I did this week. Other than that, nothing. Halloween
Just
candy
nothing
and
new.
movies. And the gym.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right. Yeah, you know that
New
is.
PR on the bench
So-
press. Great times.
Yeah. Good. Well, yeah, if you haven't watched that circuit thing, it is very cool. I like seeing that kind of content. I like anything that's going to encourage people to play role-playing games. And and if those folks were ever looking for someone who's both a game designer with a published game who's also on stream all the time, I mean, I don't know anybody they could call about that, but I'm sure we could find somebody. And
Maybe it's because maybe
Maybe.
I'm not published, but doesn't mean I'm not badass.
No, that's true. I would argue that you are more badass than me. I'm okay with that. But no one is
No,
more
I'm-
badass in this call than Anne. Anne, what have you been up to? I saw some cute Instagram pics of your dog.
Muted.
Muted, Anne. Unless you're just moving your lips, trying
Yeah,
to
that's true.
confuse us. Which you could do. That'd be a power move.
It's just she's
Um,
so
Wait, can
badass
you
that
hear
her
me
mic
now?
can't pick it up.
Yeah, now we can.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Hi, Anne.
There it is.
Hello.
When the icon is red and it says that I'm muted, I'm not. But when it's green,
Oh.
I am muted. It's inverted.
Right. Yeah. good.
What?
So is the mute turned on? If yes, green.
Yeah, it's literally red with like a slash through it, and I'm unmuted right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. I'll have to keep that in mind for while I'm like typing on my keyboard and stuff.
All you gotta
Okay.
remember is that I'm gonna paraphrase this. It's a stop sign is like, or a stoplight is the opposite of a banana, right? Because green means stop, yellow means go, and red means where the fuck did you get that banana? So now that we can hear
What?
you, Anne, you guys not know
I'm
who's?
confused.
It's okay. Don't worry about
Mm.
it. Tell me
Okay,
about your life, Anne. What have you been doing?
Yeah, I've been playing some Rainbow Six Siege. I've been playing some Blackout. I did a thing yesterday that was really cool. It was for the new Walking Dead game. And
Oh,
so
yeah, that's right.
basically we went to like a studio where they had like a whole thing set up, like a whole set up, and they had actual people like with really intense makeup that looked like walkers. And they were like walking around on set while we were playing the new game, and yeah, it was really fun. It was a good time. It was pretty
That's
intense.
cool.
It was weird because I can see them doing the makeup for the walkers,
Mhm.
and I know that they're people who are acting, but I still feel really uncomfortable when I see them like walking around. It was really strange, but it was fun. I was hung out with it was Angry Pug, Jay Ghosty, and Shroud. So it was fun. But I would
That's
definitely. I
cool.
think I'm interested to play that game more.
Yeah.
It's
What? Tell me more about the game. What's the deal?
So it's like
I saw some other people's-
4-person team, and there's a map with different kind of objectives, like little missions, and it's made by the same dudes who made Payday. So if you ever played Payday,
Oh,
which is like the
okay.
bank robbing thing, so it's supposed to be like kind of tactical. There's like missions that have like a start and finish, and then you get like supplies out of that, and you can upgrade your main base or like your main camp. So yeah, there's different types of like traps you have to look out for, and there's like a horde meter where if you make too much noise, then it'll attract a horde of walkers, and then there's like actual humans you have to fight who are like gonna shoot back at you and that kind of thing. Yeah, so I actually think it like looked pretty fun. We just didn't play like a ton of it because there was a lot, they don't want to like spoil too much, and then there was a lot of like other kind of activities going on. So um, it's fun.
Interesting.
Yeah. I would definitely be down to like
It's
play that more like seriously.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, like The Walking Dead is the last like carrier of the torch of when zombies were like a hugely popular thing. Like we'll see games pop up every once in a while, but I feel like whenever it's a big deal, it's attached to The Walking Dead. But yeah, it's cool that they're like trying a different way of going about it. I watched like a tiny bit of a couple of people play it, but I not long enough to understand. So getting that framework seems cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. Zambies. Nice.
Yamby.
Well, cool. Max, if you need to take a minute to like go and get your nail clippers, you can. You just let me know.
I don't know where they
It drives me
are. That's what's
crazy.
so frustrating. I own like 3 of them, and I have no idea where any of them are. It's driving me insane.
Use scissors.
Yeah, I actually considered doing that, but then you get the jagged edges that'll fucking stab you. Like, you know, like the really sharp. Unless you take the time to be like.
I just
have
wanted
that.
everybody to have another chance to listen to Max talk about his nails again.
Listen, there were some other people in chat that felt my concern there. It's not that I have like freakishly long nails. It's the fact that they're just long enough to bother the shit out of me anytime I touch my keyboard or anything like that.
Use
Doesn't matter if you're using
sandpaper.
like a controller. And this is going to devolve.
I feel
to,
like
use
Anne,
a
if you
shredder for
can't,
cheese.
I feel
your
like Anne, if
fingers
he can't find his scissors, having a random piece of sandpaper around is less likely.
Well, I have a
Unless
drawer with different grades of sandpaper. You don't have a drawer with different grades of sandpaper?
Yeah,
Everybody has a sandpaper drawer.
I literally do.
okay, Mark, I know why you do because yours are for miniatures. And why do you have a drawer full of sandpaper?
Don't ask questions that you don't
Okay,
want the
all
answer
right,
to.
you know what? It's fine. It's okay.
Wow.
I rescind my question. Never mind. Let's play a role-playing game. I'm gonna just sit
Great.
over here. I'm not.
That's good.
Whatever. It's fine. Anne is a normal person and not someone to be scared of. So there's this whole elder situation, right, that you need to deal with before we go into doing goals. The current setup is that you're getting to the root of the problem, but there is this sensitive asset. Now, we don't know that the Elder Megala is like a terrorist necessarily, or if she's directly funding or supporting terrorists, but somebody on this planet was connected to known terrorist operative Alexander Karsten. You haven't figured out who that is yet. So your current leads in front of you are Talat Lau, who you have spoken to, who you could go back and try to talk to again, the Elder herself, which I think is probably where you're aiming, or there's also this mysterious Sybil figure, Sybil Alders, and she is somehow connected to the situation. So you have these kind of before you. The situation on Berkman is warming up, but I think your actions will decide whether it kind of tips over to full-blown riots or not. But for now, it's relatively under control. And Nomi, you have been told that if you can get justified go ahead, Yancey will, if you can give him justification, he'll land like proper Marines on the planet and be like, okay, we're gonna get this shit under control. So with all that in mind, let's write some goals. Gabriel, do you know what you want your goals to be?
I think I was going to keep mine the same, which was just currently discover who Carson was working with on Berkman.
Right. Yeah. So figure out that contact. Okay. All right. Nomi, know what you want your goal to be?
I think I want my goal to be to make contact with this Alders person.
Okay. Cool. All right. Our Amira, what would you like to do?
Come back to me.
Okay, yeah, because your goal is sort of separate in the sense that you have a personal goal that you want to pursue. And Booker, what about you?
Yeah.
You just said it, but I'll admit it. I wasn't paying attention fully. What was the exact?
I was thinking about my
roll off
nails.
point? I was thinking about my nails. God damn it.
There's the elder, right? Do you want to figure out what her deal is? Do you want to press Talat Lao again for more information? Yancey says he'll drop the hammer if you can prove to him that there's reason to. If you can point him at an enemy, he will
Right.
draw and fire.
Dude. I guess I don't know if this matters because it's a goal for the player. Because I don't know if Booker's aware of the alders person. I can't remember if Anne shared that.
I
don't think that Nomi has any reason not to tell you. So yeah, you're aware.
Yeah.
I mentioned it to everybody, yeah, in a big conversation.
Yeah, I think it would probably find alders, so it'd be assisting. Yeah, like
That's my goal.
okay, it's not. It's anything opposite of that.
Prevent
Fine.
Nomi
Well, can we have-
from.
Can we have the same goal? Is that okay, or
Oh yeah, totally.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh,
fine
okay.
with me. Yeah.
I don't think he's
let's
ever-
get together.
different?
Yeah.
Okay.
Copying my goals. Next week, my goal is whatever Max's goal is.
Good
And
luck.
what did you get
'cause
for
that's
question
the thing,
2?
man. I never have a goal.
All right. So you want same thing, like track down Sybil Alders?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so the first name is Sybil, is it? All I had in my notes was Alders.
That's
Dun,
pretty
dun,
good for your first name.
dun.
It's true. I think that's the
Foolish
first time I've heard that.
GM.
I slipped up. We haven't known this for weeks.
Now we have all the information we need. Call up Yancey.
Yeah, now that we have her first name.
It's a
Okay.
woman.
So
So many things.
Kiran, what would you like to do?
Ascertain who it was that what's her face was making contact with on this planet.
Alexander Karsten. Yeah, that's what
Thank
Gabriel's
you.
goal is. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, is that what I don't listen when Mark talks.
Jasmine, why?
I love you, Mark. I love you, Mark. I only diss it out to those I love.
Mark, the thing is you're Jasmine's Max to me. That's how it goes. Everybody's gotta have somebody.
Unless you're, in which case you're apparently
no.
too afraid.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have the same goal as Mark. I'm gonna pull a Max and just copy Mark.
Okay. All right.
What do you want from me? I didn't have a goal. That made sense.
All right. So Karsten's contact on work. Okay. Great. Okay. So where would you like to begin? I mean, you need to like Nomi, especially. You need to rest. You need to rest and charge up your effort because you currently have no access to your psychic powers. You are
Yes,
tapped out.
I need to plug into my charger. I mean, what?
Well, everybody want to change their goal to kill the synth that is pretending to be Nomi, or yeah. So you need to rest, and plus also it's like 3 a.m, so you're gonna need like physical sleep. So maybe we begin the next day in the embassy, and I think that it's the 4 of you that are there, and Elizabeth or whatever. She would be there with the Amira. Is Cruz there with you, Amira, as you accumulate hench people, or have you got him off doing something else?
No, I think he'd be there with me.
Okay, all right. So the Amira and her 2 best friends, and Tomomi Emerson is currently in the jail, awaiting, I guess, probably the rest of her life in a jail cell if nobody remembers that she's down there. And you still have the full complement of your little squad of Crux soldiers, led by Arnahan. So this is like, I don't know, Nomi, are they there, or again, do you have them off doing something else?
They were with us the last I remember.
Arnahan squad, yeah, Arnahan, Fry, McGregor, Jansing, and Doyle.
Doyle.
All right, so you're in the main room, and there's a lot of people here. The soldiers are standing at the back, kind of like listening. They're at ease. kind of in the background, the four of you are sitting around the table that's in the main room, and the Amira's hench people are standing behind her seat. And yeah, you all notice there's like a Trilliant assistant in the room. He's shiny as hell. He's got gold skin, which now I guess is kind of familiar to you, Crusader Gabriel. And yeah, and he's standing looking kind of expensive and smug. And by contrast, the Imperial assistant, Elizabeth, is not making eye contact with any of the nobles, looking down and pretending not to be there. And so we fade in on this big scene of everybody. And I imagine, Nomi, you have the floor as the sort of ranking officer.
Okay, great. So I guess I would be explaining to people, like what our path should be, our plan.
Yeah.
All right, wait. So, but have I seen the gold person before? What's his name?
I don't think so. There's just like this expensive looking, handsome guy standing behind the Amira. And maybe that's the thing that you are like, wait a second.
Yeah, like I don't think that I would want to talk about like our entire plan in front of a stranger. So, I guess I would maybe if I'm like walking into the room and then I'm like preparing to kind of tell everyone, and then I see him, and I would walk over and introduce myself and say, "Greetings, I am Cirrus Nomika. I don't believe that we have been introduced."
Oh no, we've never met, Cirrus, but I know who you are. And he snaps his fingers, and there's like a business card in his hand. He hands it to you. He hands you his Trill card, and he holds it out, and it says, it says on it, Aram Cruz, professional assistant, and it has the Trilliant logo, and he says, I've been assigned to assist the Amira in any of her business here on Berkman, but I'd be happy to extend my services to you and to your team as well.
I would kind of glance at the Amira for a sec and then look back at Aaron Cruz and say, I'm sorry, but this is a Crux mission, and I don't believe that we've approved the assistance of any Trilliant members. After all, your crew or your, it's not a house, right? It's like what I call it, like an organization.
They're a corporation.
Corporation,
yeah,
right?
Company, corporation. Yep.
Yeah. No one from your corporation has been approved to assist in this mission, as Trilliant has a large presence here on Berkman. I'm sure you understand.
He smiles and he says, I'm surprised that you weren't given the paperwork, Cirrus. I thought you might. And he reaches into his very fancy kind of like half jacket thing he's wearing, and he takes out his data pad, and your comm buzzes as he sends you a file. And on it, at a glance, you see there is a contract. It details his assignment to the embassy, and through the embassy to the Amira, and it has the seal of the ambassador on it. And he says, don't worry, we've worked with Crux before. Important to dot the I's, cross the T's, and what have you. So don't worry. Legally, we're fine.
Maybe you are, but I still need to check this with my commander before we can proceed. And I would want to verify that with Yancey.
Yeah. Now, do you want to verify it directly, or how do you want to go about that?
Yeah, I guess. Well, I would call Yancey, and then I would say, "Look at this data pad. Can you tell me if this is right?" Yeah, great, just like that.
He looks at it and it makes him sad. So you can like there's a like an information security department on the ship that you can send it to. Like you don't have to go to him. It might get escalated to him, but you can send it for verification. And it'll only take a second.
Great.
So yeah, so you do that. You send it up to get verified. It runs through the Signet database, and you get a response like it's all on the up and up. The seal is for real.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Even if it's like
It's the yeah, like it's real. It's the ambassador's personal seal. So if you wanted to take it up with somebody, you'd be the ambassador.
right. I guess I'm just worried about like conflict of interest because if we're investigating,
Yes,
if we
that
end
is
up
that
investigating Trilliant,
that's a
even
good
if
thing
he's
to be
like,
worried about.
yeah, like even if he's approved, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, Trilliant basically invented the ulterior motive. So
Yeah. Okay. Great.
but yeah, he just smiles at you, just shines this like winning smile, like good, everything's in order. And I think if he sees you hesitate at all, he gestures to the room and he says, "I believe this is your meeting."
I'll like intervene at this juncture and just be like, Cruz, I think that despite your paperwork being in order, your presence might make members of the crew a bit uncomfortable. If you would do me this kindness of maybe just stepping out for a moment while we chatted.
Of course, my lady. And he again smiles at Nomi and then, excuse me, Cirrus, then walks off.
Cool. Great. Well, then I would smile and kind of like nod my thanks at the Amira and then turn toward the rest of the room.
Gabriel, you catch a second of Arnahan as Cruz walks by. Arnahan does one of these, and then looks, and then goes back to like paying attention.
I raise an eyebrow at Arnahan, but then just turn back to Nomi.
Now that we have all reconvened, I think it's important that we make sure that all of us are on the same page. It has been told to me by our commanding officer that the Reverend Elder Miguela has a warrant out for her arrest. We need to apprehend her, hopefully quietly, so as not to upset the local populace. Talat Lao is still somewhat of a question mark, but we do know that Alexandra Costin had some contact here on the surface. We need to investigate that as well, and it's possible that her contact, although this is unconfirmed, is someone by the name of Sybil Alders, a name which I overheard in Talat Lao's mind. There are several threads that we need to pull. We could potentially split our forces to cover more ground, or we could pursue one which is the most important. Thoughts? And I kind of like look around and wait for people to respond.
Yeah, I mean Arnahan and her goons know better than to say anything. They're just here to follow orders. So
yeah,
Chaplain leans, and he's not. I've probably switched over to my combat armor rather than my suit, and the hair's cut short now, like as a bit of a disguise. And he leans in. Whilst I think that the Reverend Elder is likely working either for her own gain or to assist these terrorists, I imagine that she is still, well, more of a coordinator than anything, than any sort of proper leader. I think that she will need to be handled discreetly, which is not necessarily my forte. I would prefer to be going a more direct approach after someone like Lao or this Alders. If that's all right with you, Ceres.
There is also the added complication that she has met with you before and perhaps believes you dead if she was a part of this fake explosion.
Yes.
So I agree that perhaps pursuing Elder Miguela is not for you, Gabriel.
I do think that she will have useful information, and your skills in that area will no doubt be extremely useful. Perhaps she will know if there is a correlation between this Alders and Carsten.
Why not use her then? As opposed to asking her for information, why not let her know that she's a cornered rat, and if she doesn't work with us, we've got something we didn't have before, which is leverage. You flash that arrest warrant, we can maybe use her to draw some of her compatriots out of hiding. They trust her. They don't know she's compromised. We might be able to use her as a mole Just far more useful than having her in jail.
My impression of the
Perhaps.
woman is that she was particularly stubborn, and she believes that she has the support of this planet. Whilst it is a good idea, Ramira, my fear would be that should she choose to take a stand against us, she would have some considerable amount of forces on her side if we had to take stronger actions. What do you think, Ceres?
I agree that she seems like a very stubborn person to work with. I'm not sure that she would be willing to sacrifice her integrity in order to lessen her sentence. For example, if we were to encourage her to help us, and perhaps we would be able to reduce her arrest to something more minor. I don't believe that she will cooperate.
Unless
She
she
seems like
believes
a
that the
very
full
proud
fist of the
person.
crux is coming down upon her planet. From what we know of her, her loyalty isn't to any institution, but rather to her people. If we give her the impression that we've been, or rather that we have permission to throw her into jail and bring forth crux justice onto this planet, that might change her tune a little bit. I don't think her loyalty is to her comrades so much as it's to make sure that more of her own people don't die.
She is
In
very
a
loyal.
way, it's more or less we have to have a bit of a bluff there. Obviously, we're here to confirm that there's a connection before we have boots on the ground. They need to think that we already are willing to bring down crux justice on them. They see that weakness somehow. Well,
Do we need to take out Talat Lao to make that bluff more imposing? Do we think that he
That's a
could
start.
rally forces?
He does seem to be instrumental in the leadership portion of the militia here on the planet.
I'll be very happy to remove him from the equation if that is required. He is a traitor
Any
to the...
disagreement? Gabriel, it seems that you have your mission.
Yes, I will see if he knows anything about Carsten as well. I will do some preliminary investigations. I may require Sergeant Arnahan and her forces, but obviously I will come to you first, Silas.
I would like to investigate this connection with Sybil Alders. It's a name that I've heard now a couple of times, and it seems to be of some import. Perhaps half of us can pursue the removal of Talat Lao, and the other can try to figure out who Sybil Alders is, while also keeping in mind that we need to speak with the Reverend and encourage her to assist us in our investigation. No objections?
sounds good. It's up to you where you put them in. And women.
As always, I am
Okay,
here to
alright.
help you and the Empire, Silas.
Okay.
Nice. Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
I'm
arrest
fine
an old
with-
lady and assassinate a priest. I guess he's more of a reverend, but yeah, I like it. Okay, cool.
Another
Yeah.
priest.
Questioning the crux judgment here, or like the Empire's
Not
judgment?
not even a little bit, because I know what happens when you do that. I would like to not go out the airlock. So
It was one time.
Was it, though?
It's a great way to get rid of
One time
trash.
that we
Just
have
throw it out into
seen.
space.
You space somebody the first time, it makes it easier the second time you do it.
Oh yeah, that was
He's
not
spacing
Nomi's
one.
first spacing. So okay, so where do we want to begin? Crusader Gabriel, you have an assassination, a kidnapping to plan? Like, what do you want to do? Is the plan here to like carjack this dude and drag him off somewhere with a bag over his head, or is this like a sniper rifle through the windscreen of his car type of a deal?
No, I want information from this guy, so this is going to have to be getting close and either cap him, bag him, or get the intel and do whatever. But I think the main thing is to try and get some reconnaissance on him, so track him down, kind of maybe learn his pattern or his routine a little bit, at least like get a vague idea of where he may be going, what he's doing,
Right.
and then try and plot the best time to try and either catch him when he's unguarded or when he has the minimal amount of forces around him.
Okay, and is that something that the Crusader is going to be doing on his own, or are you do you have assistance in that regard?
I think I would want to leave that up to the rest of the team first. Like, if they've all got things to do, then he's happy to go off and do it by himself. You know, he's used to working on his own, but he wouldn't say no to assistance if other people don't have necessarily anything to pursue right away.
It's definitely easier to like shadow somebody if you have help, right? Doing it alone is tricky.
So yeah, but I think I'd probably if nothing else, I'd maybe ask some of the grunts to do it, but I'd go through Nomi to request their assistance first.
Okay. I want to what I want for Nomi is to go speak with Tomomi and see if the name Sybil Alders rings a bell. So I don't feel like I need we don't need anyone really to any one of Arnahan's crew with us right now. I don't think.
Okay.
Because I think it'll be more impactful when we talk to the Reverend if Talalao has gone missing or something.
Yeah. If Nomi says that's how she wants it to happen, then that's what the Crusader will plan for, is to basically make this guy disappear for a while.
Okay.
Either permanently or temporarily, but to disappear.
Yeah, because he doesn't need to actually be captured and taken back to any place. He just needs to disappear as a show of force.
Yep. Yeah.
The only problem might be if we capture him or hold him somewhere, and word doesn't get to the Elder, in time. But then again,
it seems
want to cooperate.
It seems to you that the two of them are pretty decently connected, right? Like, you've seen them together, and she invited him to that now defunct because randomly. The Crusader died at dinner. They I think it's fair to assume that word would get back to her if he disappeared.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So is that the first thing that you want to do? Start there before you go and talk to her.
Maybe start with Nomi talking to Thingy, just while I have
Nomi, do you want to start?
How I want to do stuff.
Yeah, totally. Okay. All right. So yeah, Gabriel's gonna go and plot out how he wants to handle this. Nomi, what are you doing in the meantime?
I'm gonna go talk to Tomomi Emerson and see if she knows who
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So there is, because it's a Crux facility, there are always jail cells because you never know when you're gonna need to arrest somebody. And so there's 3 of them in a sub basement of the embassy. So you scan your bioprint on the lift, and it takes you downstairs. Are you going by yourself, or are you gonna get one of the soldiers to go with you, or?
I'll just go by myself.
Okay. All right.
Max.
Okay. All right. So we follow you. We follow you down the hall to. Yeah, but Booker's got to run and go clip his nails. So you, you head to the lift, scan the thing. It lights up with security clearance accepted, and after a short lift ride, you find yourself on the containment level of the embassy. It's a small area. There's a little centralized room where there's a desk, and there would be somebody responsible for keeping track of the prisoners. But since there's only one prisoner down here, it's been left automated. You walk in, and then there's 3 doors, one for each of the cells, and then the terminal has camera feeds to the cells themselves. So the cell doors are just like big metal sliding doors, and they have a plastic or whatever safety glass view screen.
Okay. Can I talk from the outside of the door? Do I need to go? Actually, no. I just want to go in. I'm just gonna open her door or whatever.
Okay, so you just press the button. We see your arrival from inside of the cell. The door opens. Tomomi Emerson is sitting. She's had her stuff taken away. She's wearing a standard Crux prisoner jumpsuit. And she's just sitting on the little bench. There is a this isn't the Prudence's brig. This is a little better setup. People are meant to stay here until they can be sent to, there's a central law enforcement plaza in the like a crux built place in the city that she'd get sent to as like a more permanent prison. But right now this is basically just like a little jail. So it's got the bed, and it's she hasn't even like nobody took the plastic wrap off of the little mattress thing that's in there. There is a polished metal plate welded into the wall that acts as a mirror. There's a little sink and a like a toilet unit. And she looks up when you come in. She's been in here overnight, and no one has talked to her.
Okay.
And she yeah, she just kind of like doesn't know what to say. Her bruises now, because they were still pretty fresh, have gone from like blossoming to full bloom. So her face is like swollen. She's got one eye is like swollen shut, big black eye. And the yeah, and she has some more like bruising on her neck. But she's like capable of speaking. She's not like knocked out. And she looks up and doesn't say anything, just waits for you to speak.
Okay. Is it possible? Can I like retcon a tiny bit and say that I brought with me like whatever that can of like food was that she had before that we like
Oh, her
Max
little
made her
MRE
like disable?
thing?
Yeah.
The thing that wasn't a bomb? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Cool. So I just want to say like I brought that with me. And so I walk in and I kind of look around and um is she like sitting on the bed, I guess?
I think she stood up when you come in.
She stood up. Okay, cool. So I walk in and I look around and I say, "It's good to see you, Tomomi. How are things?"
I don't understand. What do you mean, how are things? I've been in this cell all night.
Yes, how are your injuries?
They hurt. I don't. She's like kind of touches her face, like, "Ow, yep, still hurts."
Great. Has anyone provided you with any medical treatment?
No.
I will try to have someone down here as soon as possible. Meanwhile, and I hand her like the MRE thing.
Okay.
I brought you a replacement for your meal. I apologize for the misunderstanding earlier.
She. I'm gonna roll because I can't decide if she's hungry enough to just dig in or if she like tries not to.
Mm.
All right. Yeah, I think for now she takes it from you and just holds it.
Yeah.
And she nods. She says, "Thank you."
So Nomi looks a little like awkward almost, like she's not sure what to do because there's I don't want to like sit on her bed and I'm just kind of standing here. And I say, I apologize for the accommodations. You understand that until this mission is finished, technically you are still considered a criminal. Although you have defected and your cooperation has been most advantageous to us, there is still much to investigate, and your life is still potentially in danger. So, this might honestly be the safest place for you at this time, but I assure you that we do not plan to leave you here forever.
So, so what happens next?
Unfortunately, for the time being, you need to stay here for your own safety, and for the appearances that you are not necessarily cooperating with us, but are under arrest. In the meantime, I was hoping that you could help me with some additional information. Do you know anyone by the name of Sybil Alders?
I wonder if she's like. I'm gonna make a connect roll for her to see if she's like.
Hold
high
on, let me
enough
make
up
this
in the
roll and I'll
order.
get back to you.
Well, just I want to see if she's high enough because I don't know off the top of my head. Actually, you
yeah.
know what? You should roll a luck roll. It doesn't worry to me. It doesn't matter. All that matters is whether you're lucky enough that she is or not. Because if I don't know,
Okay.
you make a luck roll and we'll see. Okay.
Ooh.
So she
barely.
shakes her head and she says, no, I've never heard that name before.
Is there potentially anyone further up the chain than you who might know where I could find this person.
She chuckles and then it hurts. Like she's got a broken rib or something. So she's like, ah. See, that's not really how it works on Berkman. We don't have clearly defined chains of who's in charge of who. People rallied around Lao. I didn't have anyone supervising me or anything.
I see. Then perhaps Talat Lao is the only one who can lead us to her as far as we know, unless you have any other names that you care to give up.
If I did, and you can see her like trying to work up the bravery to be like, what do I get out of it?
The more that you help us, the more I can convince the Crux that you are working with us and that you shouldn't be sent to Gleipnir for your past actions.
Make a talk roll with charisma.
Okay.
You said the G word.
Yeah.
+1, get a +1.
Okay, so her eyes widen a little. Like I didn't
rolled a
realize.
1. I can re-roll that 1 actually.
Yes, you can.
Let's see if I can make it bigger.
Yeah.
Nope. Wait. Oh, I got to do it again.
Yeah, you re-roll it again. You never get ones. Yeah, always re-roll.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's got a 9. That's fine.
It's a 9.
So yeah, she like when you say that, her eyes widen. And she says, I didn't. So there isn't anyone else but Lau that I can give up. Anybody else that I told you about, they're just going to be like me. They won't know anymore. They're just misled. Lau is the one you want. He's the one with all the connections. The friends off-world.
Off-world.
I can tell you everything I know about him, but she nods and she says, there's a woman. Her accent. It's like her accent. It's core worlds. She comes and goes, but she always meets with Lau. I seen her at church a few times. She's never paying any attention. That's how you can tell someone's not from Berkman, because when a pastor speaks, we listen, but not her. Kind of a cold effect. And then she'd be gone.
Can I pull up a photo of Karsten on my datapad and show it to her? Okay, great. Is this the woman that you're speaking about?
She looks at it and she shakes her head and she's like, no, that's Alexander Karsten. I heard she got captured. Wait, you don't think Karsten's got anything to do with Berkman, do you?
That remains to be seen. Thank you, Tomomi. If there's anything else that you think of.
Remember how I helped you? I didn't have to do that.
No, you didn't. But I'm glad that you did. I will see that someone is sent down here to help you with your injuries as soon as I can. In the meantime, if you think of anything else, make sure that you alert someone so that I can try to resolve the situation as quickly as possible and we can get you off of this planet.
And she nods, but nervously, like, yes, I would like to get off this planet, but not to that place you said before. And are you threatening me, or is this a promise? I'm terrified of you. So she just nods.
Great. So I'll leave, and as soon as I get out of the room, I would call for someone to be, I don't know who I would call, but someone to like go down there to help her with her.
Yep, totally.
Injuries.
Yeah, you can just send somebody to go and take a look at her. Yep.
Great.
Okay. All right. So meanwhile, while Nomi's down doing that, Booker and Kiran, what are the two of you up to? What do you want to do?
That is a good question, Adam.
Do you want to help Gabriel plan Operation Kidnap Talat Lao?
Yeah, that's probably
because
what
you've
we're
both
gonna do.
you've both personally been in his, like, you can't, if you go back they'll recognize you, but Gabriel hasn't. But you've been there before. You've seen his church and
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
probably
makes sense
ask
for
them for
Booker too,
stuff,
to be helping a tactical plan for how to get into the church and get Talat Lao.
I'd
Okay.
also like to talk
Yeah.
to them about what Tomomi said to me before they go there.
Yeah, I think you'll walk in. You can walk in like partway through this conversation. So you just let me know. So Booker and
Nomi walks in.
Yeah, perfect. Good. As you're about to begin, Booker and the Amira have seen this place themselves. It is essentially like a warren, a single level, cut out series of interconnected tunnels, kind of like a siege or whatever, in the wall of the lower city. That sort of centers around this main, I'm going to say hall, but it's not, it's a cave. This main hall with the front doors where the actual church is. Everything else in there are dwellings, or there aren't like businesses in here. There might be like a central hub where there's like a public terminal access to the rest of the like the power supply of the city and the communications hub. And that would be a place where people would go to trade and like talk and hang out. But mostly it's a bunch of homesteads that are built into like caves in this kind of like community that's closed off. You didn't see, either of you, like another way in or out. So it seems like there's just the one, but also like it's a warren of caves. So if there is an exit, there it would be like hidden somewhere in the back.
Did you meet with Talat Lao in this series of caves anywhere? Did he have an office, or did you meet him out in the main church?
I personally did not, but the Amira here was in there with Nomi. I got unfortunately picked out of the crowd while I was trying to blend in the church. Had some rough time dodging them too. Those caves, man.
That's good to know. Thank you, Agent Graves. Amira, where did you meet with this Talat Lao?
It was behind. I don't remember if it was underground or not. I want to say there were stairs going down, but it was in a stronghold underneath the church.
Yeah, underground is sort of a complicated term in New Antioch because as we talked about before, like the city
We're
is
already underground, right?
Underground.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like deeper.
So it's like,
but it was under the church, right?
Would you say
it was like behind? It was like a back room. Like you went out from the you went into his office. And he came out from another room that you didn't see. So there was like the main church hall, and then there was a side office, and he came from another door. Into that office.
Seems a bit messed up too to have a church underground. Am I right? What kind of church is it?
Almost literally everything. Almost everything lives underground on this planet. If you live on the surface, it's hot and dry. But yeah, so that's what you saw when you were down there.
Hey, lots of
and he
people
had a
live
guard.
in Arizona, and they're fine. Okay.
This is like cranked up Arizona. It's like New Mexico.
Mega Arizona.
Yeah, that's right. Space Arizona. So he was with a guard. There was like his kind of bodyguard. And other than that, there were Booker, you noticed like there was kind of a difference, I think, between like the regular parishioners and then some more like kind of hardened folk. You could see the like ready for action vibe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess I impart that knowledge to Gabriel. Like, yeah, it's clear they are the ones that are kind of regular sort of folk, not really too much to worry about there. But then there's the others that are, well, you'll understand and you'll see them.
I can imagine the sort, Agent Graves. Thank you. My plan currently is I want to see if he leaves this compound or if he remains in. If he's quite paranoid, I can imagine that he does not leave it. But the hope is that I can make use of my abilities. I can hopefully find him in a place where he is alone, unguarded, private, perhaps. Teleport myself in, grab him, or knock him out, or do what needs to be done, and then get out effectively. That was
about what I was
plan.
about to suggest as well. I think attempting to take him out, as you put it, while he's anywhere in the church vicinity would be a very bad idea. Almost everyone in that church was armed. They're all very loyal to him.
Yeah, shit's a fortress.
Yes.
Although they seem to have some empathy, they didn't take my sword from me. I will say that they were on guard, especially against any attacks against Tylat Lau's life. And they checked us and made sure we weren't armed before we went in. I think you'll have a hard time getting in that way.
Yes. It seems that, well, I mean, these are traitors and heretics. They obviously are afraid that these indiscretions will be discovered. So, no doubt that they are quite paranoid. Well, it is tricky. I need to be aware of the place to apport myself into. So, either if I must see it or it must be somewhere that I have visited before, which will make it tricky. I think perhaps it may be good to shadow him for some time. That will be easier if I have some assistance. I don't suppose you have any experience with shadowing people, Agent Graves or Emira?
He's like, Booker's like laughing. Why would you even ask that?
There's a grin of a kind of a rhetorical question, kind of looking at Greaves specifically.
Yeah.
Yes, I've had my fair share of shadowing.
Well,
We still
your
run into the
assistance.
problem, though, that they are aware of what I look like. So I can go, but there's a certain level of risk that's associated with it. Also, one more thing that I don't believe I've mentioned. There was one other lady that was there. Well, if you can call her a lady. That looked particularly well suited for combat. Somebody that is not a part of the church, or at least it's a special set of skills. Definitely someone that's there to make sure that Talat Lao and them folk are protected. I had a run-in with her too while escaping. Thankfully, again, they have some sort of empathy. I was outgunned, but they still managed to let me get through. But
Do you
just on the
suspect
grounds that I didn't return. Felt important to let you know.
No, good. Did you suspect that this woman may have cybernetics or perhaps MES? Or was she simply a hardened combat veteran, do you think?
Booker does this. Adam, do I suspect?
I don't think that you had any reason to believe that she was cybernetically enhanced.
Cybernetics or anything, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no sort of augments or anything like that.
Not that you saw off the top
That I
of
was able to see.
nothing at
Yeah.
a glance.
None
Yeah,
that I was able to see, no. But you never know.
Indeed, the problem with MES especially is that often it does not. There is no usual sign that someone has it. Very good. Thank you so much, both of you, for your assistance. This does sound like it will be quite tricky, but the more and more I am hearing, the more and more I am convinced that this Talat Lao needs to be removed from Berkman. He is a stain on the church, and he is a disease in this empire. Obviously, spreading this filth and blasphemy, so this must be dealt with no matter what.
Agreed.
And
All right.
Nomi walks in. And you are all just awed by her splendor. No.
Absolutely.
Make a
So,
mental.
I think
yes.
Booker, you're like, know me?
I see this.
I spoke with Tomomi Emerson, and she gave me not a name, but someone to look for, and I suspect that the person that she recognized might possibly be the Sybil Alders that I am trying to track down. She said that there was a woman who has a Core Worlds accent and attends some of the services at the church. She said that the best way to recognize them, the people who are not from Berkman, are the ones who don't pay attention to the actual sermon. So it's possible that it would be good for us to somehow attend one of these sermons, but the challenge there being that they recognize, I believe, all of us.
Well, I may be able to blend in a little bit better. They have not directly seen me, and I am supposed to be dead. So perhaps with with a different outfit and shorter hair, they may pass me over. We could also perhaps have some of Anahan's people in as backup, or at least to keep their eyes out. But
This
Anahan's
Person-
people are very obviously Crux soldiers. Maybe this would be a good time to make use of the Amira's new friend.
He will also quite stand out as Trilliant and Berkman are
He
not.
is a little flashy. Yeah.
You think it?
Perhaps he has the resources to
That is true.
fashion some kind of disguise for either the Amira or any of us.
That is true.
Never met much of a Trilliant that didn't like. Listen, you can disguise a Trilliant all you want, but it's hard for them to not behave like one.
Yes, I will have to make sure I cover my new appendage, if nothing else, as well. But perhaps disguises. Perhaps they will have access to pharmaceuticals or something to change hair color or skin color, that sort of thing. That could be quite useful.
Yeah, I agree. And Nomi, you said there's a person that you suspect to be Sybil Alders in Talat Lau's church. Is that right?
Correct.
I wonder if it might be the one that I encountered.
You said that she was.
She described her as a cold woman with an Core Worlds accent. Did you recognize her voice as being from the Core Worlds?
Did she have a?
I don't think you heard her talk. Oh no, you did. Yeah.
She talked to me. We had a conversation.
Yeah,
in the
you told.
alleyway.
Yeah, and I remember the one you're talking about. I mean, you're like all of you have that same accent, so maybe it's hard to pick out. Make a no roll with intelligence. Let's see if your memory.
It's hard for Detective Greaves to pick out different accents.
No, it's just harder because it's so familiar to you.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah, but she wouldn't sound like a person from Berkman is, I think, the thing.
Yeah.
You said no.
No, make the roll. Yeah, no.
No, a no roll.
No, like
Cool.
make the roll, but that's the skill.
Yeah.
Okay.
A-N-O.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Now that you think about it, you're like, yeah, like a little. Maybe she was trying to hide it.
You also said that she was clearly experienced or dangerous. We know that Carsten's people that were aboard the ship were also at least competent, military, hardened mercenaries of a sort.
These
Does
are the
make
dots
sense.
that I'm connecting.
Yes. Well, it does definitely sounds like our business is at Talat Lau's compound, no matter what it is. How do you wish to
Agreed.
proceed?
The compound, after being inside of it, is a death sentence for any of us who go in there armed.
Well,
Perhaps
they
we just
don't-
need to. We need to see if Talat Lau ever leaves. I'm not sure if he has a home separate from that compound, or if he just
Yeah.
stays there permanently.
We'll see.
Have some
Well,
surveillance.
yes, let us hope that he does leave his compound. In a worst case scenario, if he does not, I may have a solution to keep myself armed. And I'll hold up Adam the gold hand, and just parts of it begin kind of sliding out, like sliding out as a laser rifle barrel emerges from the palm. And
Yeah,
then
check me out. I got a gun for an arm now. Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, and then it will just.
I'm always armed.
Yep.
true.
So I can at least keep myself.
Okay, Vash the Stampede.
Yeah. I'm not as nice as Vash, so. I can also, if I could teleport myself in, I can carry equipment for all of you. So they do not have to see me enter the compound necessarily.
Yes, but is it possible for you to teleport to a place which you have never seen before? And which we
No.
don't know the specific layout of?
True. If I can get a sight line into the actual main area, then I could teleport inside there. But yes, you're correct that I cannot go somewhere I've not been before. Perhaps it would be
No, it
best.
seems like surveillance is inevitable, and we need to get Gabriel here close enough so that way he can hopefully see the entrance where the doors open, which they did have before. They went on lockdown, you remember, after we went in there.
Perhaps the Amira can speak to her Trilliant friend and inquire about cosmetical disguises or pharmaceuticals or some such.
It's worth looking into.
Working with the Trilliant. As long as I don't have to talk to any of them.
It is
Trust me,
important that we not discuss the particular goal of our mission with the Trilliant, as we're not quite sure that they are necessarily innocent in this. If they have reason to protect the Reverend Elder, it's possible that they could work against us.
Hmm. I don't believe they do, but you are correct. I am not exactly keen on them at the moment, but I don't think that they necessarily would want to protect the Reverend Elder. She has been quite vocal against Trilliant's involvement with the High Church. Removing her, no doubt, will assist them in their efforts here on Berkman. Not that I wish to help them in any way, but we shall see.
It's true, we're not here to choose sides necessarily, other than to enforce Crux justice. Then it seems
Indeed.
surveillance is our best course of action. We all know what to do. Let's get to work.
Okay. All right. So we cut to, I guess, how do you want to, what's the first like aspect? Do you want to just kind of be in the neighborhood, or is this like a preparation, like you're getting a disguise, or what do you think? How deeply do you want to go? Is this just like a casual pass by, or?
I mean, because they know what all of us look like.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really difficult to get anywhere that close to it without disguises of some kind. But we can't look like we're obviously like trying to hide our identity either, because I feel like that would look really out of place here. If we were all like roll up wearing like ski masks and stuff, they're going to be like, what the hell is that? So
yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm kind of thinking that since the accident and the shorter hair and the facial scarring, maybe getting like some local Berkman clothes for the chaplain might help him blend in a bit more, cover up the arm and stuff like that. But
That's what I thought too, but then they still picked me out. And I even had a nice little different way of talking.
Yeah. I mean, you can get your hands on some like workers' clothes like relatively easily. You don't need to do anything like special for that. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we could like have like
as a
someone on a far roof keeping like a constant eye on it, like a proper stakeout kind of thing.
Yeah.
Seeing
there aren't really roofs, but you could have someone across the canyon if it's like far enough down, or like nearby, just kind of like hanging out that isn't inside the parish.
Yeah, because then we don't need to necessarily get too close, so somebody could just be watching it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get some rolls in. Let's set this stuff up. So, Crusader Gabriel, you are going to disguise, right? Put on a
hide as much of my identity as possible, and sort of rely on the fact that they hopefully think I'm dead.
Okay. All right. So let me see. Look at the skill list here. You're doing this kind of like in advance, so let's do like sneak with intelligence.
Okay.
And the fact that you're dead, take a, because you're trying to hide that you're Gabriel specifically, who they might know, especially if the Elder is in on it, right? Because she would have called him and like, yo, there's a narc on the planet, look out. Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll. Because you're assumed dead, give yourself a +2.
Yeah, being dead +2.
Yep. Nice. Yeah, it's the only time being dead's gonna give you a bonus. Okay, so your disguise is an 11. Okay, great. So you've got that. You've got a disguise on, disguising yourself as a like a worker, like a mine worker. Yep. Okay, cool. So you have a worker's disguise. Okay, so you're gonna go in and look around disguised as a worker. Let's go through everybody. So the Amira, what are you going to be doing as part of this, or are you not going to be on site?
I don't think I'm going to be on site. Well, trying to think here. Shit. I could use this time to maybe talk to Cruz, right? That's his name. Help us acquire.
I like how you're introduced to them, and then the closer they get to you, the more they work for you, the less they have a name. You're like, what's his name? Abraham Cranks? What's okay? Yeah,
exactly.
Aram Cruz is his name.
Yeah.
And yes.
Maybe talk to him about helping the crew get some better disguises or acquire some really convincing wigs and contacts?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to try to disguise like everybody, you could see if he can help with that.
Okay. Yeah,
Like
sure. Why
that. I
not?
mean, he has access. He has access to all the Trillist swag. So if there are other things that you want him to do, he might be able to. Through him, you can make a connect roll, and he could try to get you some other stuff. Trilliant makes all kinds of weird
Maybe
TL5 junk. So
yeah, so we could do that, and then maybe even like some classic stakeout stuff like binoculars, things like that.
Thermal scope.
yeah, like if you want surveillance gear, that's something that he could probably try and obtain for you.
Okay. Sure. Let's try it.
Okay. Let's have you make a connect roll.
Oh, well, that didn't work.
Okay, so
I mean, I can re-roll it because
You
I'm
can. That's true.
yeah. I'll
You're an
try
expert.
to
Yeah, and we're only going another 40 minutes before that recharges. So
yeah, so I'm just gonna try it again. That's better.
nice. Okay, so let's say miscellaneous stakeout gear. So here's what we're gonna do. Rather than define specifically what it is, let's say that you have like 3 times during the stakeout, you can just be like, we need a piece of stakeout gear. So I have like a high powered scope, or I have, like you can just tell me I'm gonna reach into my magic trillion bag and take out whatever. Yeah, okay. So he says he'll look into that, and while Gabriel's getting made up, he's gonna go and obtain you some gear. Booker, what about you? You've got some like actual like experience in this stuff. What do you want to do?
The only issue is, I mean, we're all getting disguised. Is that the idea? Like from the Trilliant
No. So right now the Amira is getting like surveillance gear.
surveillance gear? Okay.
You could also like try to put together a disguise if you want. It's gonna be harder because you've been seen
Harder for
before
me,
and
yeah.
you're not
I
dead.
think
Yeah.
Booker would probably be on surveillance duty as well. So he's probably like trying to recall and dig up any sort of maps that he might have that would have, have like good lookout points to the church and all that, because he's probably going to have to be on surveillance duty unless Nomi or Gabriel or anybody like particularly wanted him right there with them, because he kind of flashed his ass to everybody there. So
yeah. Okay. So if you recognize that you need to stay at a distance, you're going to be in what the Crusader described as like sort of sniper position, right? Where you are far away but watching at a distance. So do you want to scope out a good place?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's have you do that. So you go to the neighborhood and you kind of try to casually like walk around in areas, getting sight lines, figuring that out. Let's have you make a notice roll with wisdom or intelligence, whichever you prefer.
Well,
okay, let's see. How'd you do? Okay, so it's not that you're incompetent. It's not that. It's that like there's no good place because this is true, right? Like it's like you're trying to look into a cave. So no matter where you stand, all you get is the entrance to this much larger complex. There's no good line of sight, right? You can see the front door and just about nothing else.
It's not that you rolled badly. It's that you rolled bad.
I mean, you rolled bad, but fictionally, the situation, like obviously,
I know.
Booker's not like bad at this. It's his job. It's just that the situation is stacked against you.
Back like, listen, guys, it's a crapshoot. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, you're already kind of like on site, but yeah, there isn't any good. You can watch the front door, that's fine, and you can find a position for that. But this will not give you any additional advantage. Like you will have to draw him out for you to be useful.
In either case. It makes sense. It didn't make sense at all for him to be a part of the team, because it would just put everybody else at risk and in danger. So he's not going to do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then, Nomi, what are you doing as like preparation for the surveillance?
Yeah, the problem is that they know what I look like, and I think that Nomi, especially, it's like I can't disguise enough for this. So like we know there's the front entrance that we went through. Did we know of any other like an exit or something that I could like
Uh,
if Booker watches the front, I can watch the back or something.
that you do not know, you have not seen another entrance or exit into Red Sands, but that doesn't mean one doesn't exist.
Okay. How would I find out?
Mhm.
I could try and talk to Tomomi again. I just don't know if she is gonna know even.
Yeah, she wouldn't know.
I feel like she
wouldn't have
wouldn't.
access to that information. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no way to like investigate it like physically in person?
I mean, if you only know
It's
the
not
one
without.
entrance, you would have to go in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it's a good the angle is good. Like that idea of like there has to be some other like access to it. It's just a
Right.
question of figuring that out.
Okay. Since I have been inside before and I saw the people that were in there, like and I saw how they were dressed and everything, can I be getting like putting together outfits for some of the like Arnahan in them potentially? Because I think like yes, they are Crux soldiers, but
Mhm.
the guys who are in there were also they had like kind of that soldier vibe,
Mhm.
you know? So I think that they might be able to blend in okay. Maybe. Like in case
Yeah,
if
they would
Gabriel goes
have to
in and he
not
needs backup.
yeah, they'd have to not wear their usual like body
Right.
armor. Normally they would go into a situation like this with the like opaque glass
riot
fronted
shield,
helmet
yeah.
and yeah, exactly, and like rifles or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you could ask them not to do that and to put on peasant gear instead.
Maybe.
Certainly
I don't-
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Nomi can do in this situation where I feel like I'm just gonna get
Yeah, I mean,
spotted and then...
you have access to the embassy, and as a Crux embassy, you have pretty far-reaching access to basically like any kind of infrastructural information, databases, those kinds of things for the city. So there's a research angle if there's anything you wanted to use with that. You have access to the ambassador herself as a resource. The prudence, I guess, also is like a thing that you have access to if you can think of a way to use them. The big spaceship in orbit.
Okay. Actually, yeah. Can I go the research angle? And I realized I don't think that I've ever done anything with the name Sybil Alders, like looking it up or anything.
Mhm.
Especially to check if is record of someone who's like flying in, like, because Tomomi said that she was like coming and going a lot, and if she
Yes.
maybe like it's possible she has like a ship that she's like not staying on the planet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So you want to go and look in the database for that.
yes.
Now what you're gonna like ping the ship because the ship has access to more of like Crux's overall records.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean you have like a couple of choices, right? There's access to what Berkman knows and what their internal systems are, and then you have
Mhm.
access to the Prudence, which is more like a Crux resource.
Yeah. Okay. Can I only do one or the other? I can't do both.
Yeah, I mean you would focus on one. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say pick one.
I
See
would
where you go, and then if
go...
you might have to search for extra time, yeah.
Can I search Berkman's computers and also talk to the ambassador to see if she knows anything about Sybil Alders?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Then I do that.
Okay. So let's have you do a search.
Okay.
We'll say you can roll. It's going to be an intelligence roll with either program or notice because you're combing the like file. So digging through
Okay.
the database. This is the sort of space equivalent of the microfiche where you're like flipping through it.
Okay. Can I do so? Notice with intelligence.
Yeah, sure.
10.
Nice.
Sick.
Okay. All right. So the name does come up. There is a record of a Sybil Alders. She she dropped out of, I don't know if there's like a name for it, but essentially like seminary school of the church of the Messiah. So at some point, like 10 or 15 years ago, she was enrolled to become a priest at the high church, and then dropped out. There is a record of her like quitting, and then she doesn't show up much after that. She looks like she was a citizen of Endophiel, and there's like a birth record there and some basic information about her. But yeah, she kind of falls off after her leaving the church.
Okay. And then I would talk to the ambassador and see if she recognized the name, since she's like here on the planet and more kind of connected with what's going on.
Sure. Okay. I don't know that she would be available to you, but you could have like sent her a message and been like, "Hey, do you know anything about this person?" And she would get back to you.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna do it the same. I'll do it the same as before. Like I have no concrete decision on this, so just make a luck roll.
Okay.
Jesus, yes.
Yeah.
You rolled a 20. So
Yay.
yeah, she sends you a message back that is it's an arrest like an arrest report for like a misdemeanor, right? Like a public disorderliness for a Sybil Alders. It was like about like 14 years ago. She is a much younger looking version of the woman that Booker saw. And there's a picture, a mugshot of her, head on, side on, and she was arrested, processed, fined, and then released. And the arrest report here says that it was never sent to like off world or anything because it's a local misdemeanor and Crux doesn't need to know about it. But it was processed because it was on planet, so she has access to it. And it looks like she was arrested for like not inciting a riot, but like an illegal gathering and like public disorder, like basically like soapboxing. And she was arrested for that. And as you look at, there's some like attached files from the scene of like security drones or whatever. In the background of the shot, you see a much younger Talat Lao standing behind her, and she's like up on this like box, like shaking her fist, and he's standing behind her, a little bit blurry in the background.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So then I would like collect all this information, and since no, I did see the woman that was with Booker.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw her before. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I would recognize her then from that.
Yep.
Okay. And I would put that all together and share that information with everyone else on the team so that they know that is in fact Sybil Alders and is very likely even more in command of this situation than Talat Lao is. So she's vitally important, maybe even more so than Talat Lao.
Should have blown her head off when I had the chance. Probably wouldn't have
Do
gone
we
well.
want? I'm assuming that you wish to capture her alive, Siris.
If that's at all possible, I think that would be the best bet, since it's still possible she is merely a pawn in the greater scheme of things. But it does seem that she is of more importance than Talat Lao. And he could be just acting according to her wishes. But he has a less public record of crime on Berkman, so.
Yeah, Lao is a firebrand, but legally he's clean. He's always like, he's got like followers if he needs something done, but he himself is like a respected member of the community.
Yeah, whereas like she was arrested and ejected from the high church, so.
Yeah, technically she quit, but
yeah.
Yeah, right. It's just
Technically,
corruption all the way
right.
down. So
Yeah.
just grab the tree by its roots and throw it in the fire. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you've got some stuff going on. Do you want to? Should we cut to Gabriel's infiltration of the Red Sands community?
Dun dun dun.
Should we jump to that? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
Everybody's done some prep stuff. Okay. All right. So that means that the Amira, you are you're at the embassy, or you're doing your own thing. Nomi, where are you during this? Because Booker is like keeping watch.
Stakeout.
Yeah, Booker's on stakeout
I might be
job.
like near Booker, but not necessarily with him. Like I wouldn't. I think the two of us might be more recognizable together.
Mhm.
Like if they just see one of us, it might not be as obvious. So I think I would be nearby, but not with him.
Sure, that sounds good. Okay. So you're like across the like there's some of these walkways have little like places where you can stop and like look out. There's benches you can look out at the chasm, and you can watch the sun pass over the New Antioch. And so I think that the two of you are you're in communication, but you're apart, and you both, the best you can do is see just the opening to the place. And we watch from your perspective as the disguised Crusader Gabriel heads on inside.
Perfect. I'm assuming that we can have comms like earpieces and subtle comms and things, so we can stay in communication. Yes.
The last time that you were there, Nomi and the Amira, remember your comms went out.
Cool.
There was some kind of jammer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was
Second
responsible for that.
priority. Disable.
And
jam.
you have, I was gonna say, you have a bag of Trilliant equipment. Maybe some jamming resistant comms is one of those things. It's your magic bag, Kieran. What do you want? Do you want to use one of those?
It feels like it's like a little bit of a Deus Ex Machina now. That it's like, oh yeah, this will just circumvent all these
We
problems.
have the magic thing.
Well, the idea is that like
except for this.
It's explicitly designed for that. That's completely what I want, because otherwise we spend an hour arguing about what 3 things we get to take from Trilliant, and then you don't use 2 of them. In this case, I want it very much to be me saying, here's a problem, and you being like, boop, Trilliant, we fix it.
Well, I guess also the Amira is pretty smart.
But you only have 3
right?
of them. So
Amira is pretty smart. Maybe she preempted this because she knew that the comms went out
well, and
last time.
narratively, narratively, it isn't like you just suddenly are like, I had this. This is the shit. We have this problem, and working with Trilliant and stuff. You're smart enough to go. I'm ready for that shit.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, yeah. I'll probably pull out my magical. I'm imagining Felix's like bag.
Yeah, but it's gold.
From way back in the day. Oh gosh, I miss Felix the cat. Yeah, so I'm gonna pop it open, and there'll be 3 comms in there.
Yeah,
and
so these are tech level 5 like comms units. So they're invisible. You don't have to actually speak to communicate. They're like subvocal, and no one will be able to see them on a cursory glance. High-tech scanners could find them, but no person searching with their eyes will see your communications. And I think they're wide-ranging enough that, like the Amira, you can be back in the embassy and still be in contact with them.
Okay, I'll give the second one to Gabriel, and then I'll give the other one to Nomi. Greaves doesn't need one because he listens to what Nomi says anyway.
Well, and the 2 of them are outside the
Max's face.
So you I think they come with like a contact lens that can transmit video, so you can see each other in like, you can see what each other is seeing.
It's a Melgate codec.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So you head in, Gabriel, and what everybody sees is you have a little diamond logo floating in your field of vision, and it's spinning around. It turns red and blinks a couple of times, and then turns green to let you know that the counter jamming is kicked in, and you can communicate with each other.
Cirrus, can you read me?
Who's mailing in this situation? All right,
probably me, since I'm back at the headquarters.
Yeah,
like,
you're
would you
back
like
at
to save your progress? Right now might be a great time to save.
Oh, and then
We
you
have
could give
this
like a really cool
proverb back
religious
on
quote.
Hakani. Yeah,
exactly.
we have this proverb back on Hakani.
No,
The man who is
really.
not prudent is the man who often loses his arm. Remember this.
Cool.
You'll just be like,
Thanks, Amira.
Good to know. Good to know that the Verona has its token Asian too. Great. So okay, so
Anyway.
you're in command. You're writing down everything that's happening, Amira, and Gabriel. You walk in. So as I described it before, it is a fairly like low, like the air in here is clearly recycled several times. It's mostly places where people live in crowded environments. It's busier than it should be. Like it's holding more people than should fit into this place. Everything here seems to revolve around the central the sort of central hub where the power conduit is, and then all of that runs cabling out to the various houses. It's a place where people go to get like clean water and whatever. And then there's the church, which is its entrance is right across from like the well, which is where everybody would be around. So you walk in, and I think at first, like this is a time where lots of new faces come and go, and so people look at you and are like, oh, a new person, but nobody like says anything. You don't get the impression that like you don't walk in and you're like a maid like that. Where do you go? What are you gonna do?
Well, can we say that we kind of plan this to be around when we think there might be a sermon, like because they said that the woman is normally there and stuff like that, and also it might be a good chance for us to see Talat Lau and where he goes.
Yeah, if you just want to go and like attend that like
Yeah.
a sermon, sure, okay, yeah, I think that's fair. All right, so you're heading back towards the church.
Yep. Literally heading in wherever I think Talat Lau is most likely to be. So probably the main church building.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you time it such that you get in there and you're on your way back when you hear the sound file of bells begin to play through the speakers that are installed in the top of this kind of column of the power column that runs down the middle, and you can hear it echoing. It's the sound of church bells calling people to worship, and folks, yeah, you see them leave their houses. Some like carrying babies. Can you make a notice roll with wisdom for me there, Gabe?
Golden Gabe.
Okay. All right. Yeah. The crowd, it's like Booker said, like there are a few people in this crowd who don't quite give you that like miners family like vibe, right? Most of these people are sort of down home, salt of the earth folk, but there are a few that you pick up on the way they move, and they're armed. There's a sense of like danger to them. They set off your kind of danger sense. And
did they
and
take my arms off me or anything? If I walked in with a gun, would they have taken
No.
it off me before I came in?
Okay,
so
lots of people have guns. Lots of people have guns in here. But no, Nomi and the Amira were their weapons were removed from them when they went into the office, not the church.
Okay.
Yeah. So you see people kind of coming in, and somebody comes up beside you, a man, and he's wearing like the sort of dusty overalls of the miners of Berkman, and he sees you, and he's like slaps you on the back, and he says, "You're just in time, stranger. It's about time for a sermon."
Good. I just smile like with slightly broken basic.
Yeah, your Imperial is like kind of stumbling, and he says, he says it'll I haven't seen you around before. You new to Berkman or just the parish?
I just nod and go, no.
He squints
And
at you and he
smile.
says, well, you know, it's only a matter of time, and if you settle on Berkman, well that'll make you one of us. So come on, the pastor, he's always got something interesting to say. And he kind of like puts his arm around you and like takes you to the church.
I just let him
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
smile.
All right.
Yeah, don't say too much.
So Booker and Nomi, he's disappeared, right? Gabriel has gone inside. You can see, if you want to, by focusing on it, it'll bring it up. You can see his view from one of his eyes. So you get this sort of 2D like replacement. And you can still hear what he's saying, but you can't. You've lost sight of him, and he heads inside. Okay. All right. So you are led to the church along with many other people. The sound of the bells getting louder as you approach the town square, and then you go in through its open doors. And once you get inside, you start filing in, and it looks like, and I don't know how much experience you have with kind of backwater churches, but it's basically the barest definition of a church, right? Like it's got two rows of places for people to sit, and a little room at the back for you to stand if that's what you prefer. There's a little pulpit, and then behind it there is the symbol, a modified version of the symbol of the high church. This isn't the fancy like gold embossed symbol, probably just the core, the kind of like modified triangle and the circle with a cross. And it's just made out of it's probably carved right into the stone with no fancy embellishment. And so folks are coming in. You get a lot of now that you're in the church, there's a lot of like anticipatory smiles sent your direction, right? Like, ooh, stranger. Well, you're in for a treat, stranger. Lots of like smiles from people, and everybody sits down, and the man that brought you in here, he gestures to the pews and he says, why don't you sit down right here, friend?
Is it the back pew, or is it like the front pew?
It's like 3 from the front on the left and like halfway in. Like he's just like, you sit down, and then I'm gonna sit next to you, and we're gonna jam you up in the middle so you can't get away.
Yeah, I think like I just kind of shrug the shoulders, take a very kind of small, like very reduce the body size and make myself very non-threatening. Just hold the hands up, and I go, no, stand, and I'll just kind of stand near the back and like look very unsure, like a little bit sort of like, oh, scary.
Make a perform check with charisma.
Yup. No.
Okay. So he shakes his head. And he's like, "Oh no, that won't do. Come on." And he like physically like sits you down next to. There's like a woman. Yeah, there's a woman with like a little kid on her knee, and he kind of sits you down next to her, and then he sits down, and someone sits down next to him. So you're in the middle of the pew, and there's like at least 2 people to climb over if you want to go in either direction.
Yeah.
They don't know you can teleport, but he's basically just like, no, I don't want you to like have a polite excuse to leave. You got to watch the whole sermon. So he kind of jams you in there.
Nod. Look a bit try and look as nervous as possible. But also, like, can I kind of use my nervousness as an excuse to constantly be like looking around at all the people assembled?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you're a little.
So, like,
twitchy,
I've given him the impression that I'm already
establish
twitchy, and then I'll use that to like look around and see if I can see Sybil.
Okay, all right. Yeah, looking around, you just see a lot of kind of dusty faces. You see folks who they're off shift. They're off shift from the mines or the dark farms or whatever, wherever they work, and they're attending this. They're attending this sermon. They all have this kind of pious energy to them, where they're waiting for an opportunity to see and be reaffirmed by their community leader. But no, you don't see anyone that stands out, and you don't see anybody that's that looks like this woman. Looks like Alders. Okay. So while that's happening, Nomi and Booker, are you doing anything? Is there anything you want to do, or the Amira to support?
Hear Booker say to Nomi, "You see anything from your position?"
I can't do cool vocal effects.
I know, right? Every time Max does it on the radio, I'm just like, no, Max, it's cool. Nobody sees anything.
Yeah, really. Thanks, man.
That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem, all right?
It is. It really is.
I don't know, Space Master. Do I see anything out of the ordinary?
Yeah, through Gabriel's eyes, you can make a notice roll with intelligence. I think that it's got added difficulty because you're looking through somebody else's eyeball and you can't control where you're looking, but it's like scanning a video feed.
7.
Okay. I don't think so. Like you can be relatively rest assured that there isn't anything that he missed. So looking around, you see the door, like that leads to the office up on the side, and and scanning around, you don't see anything that you think he should be aware of.
Okay.
You know he's in the serpent's, well, present company excluded, the serpent's nest. For you, that's a great place to be.
Do I see Sybil Alders when he looks around?
You do not. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I would just respond to Booker and say, no, I don't see anything out of the ordinary. And it appears that Sybil is missing from this particular sermon, so we should keep our eyes peeled in case she shows up on the outside.
You want me to roll for anything, or I'm assuming I'm saying the same thing, right? You know, I don't.
You can make a roll too. I'm okay with you also making a roll.
Cool.
Everybody can make a roll.
Notice
you get a
with
roll.
wisdom.
I'm sorry. I'm the Oprah.
Don't know why I'm talking
notice
like him.
rolls. Notice with intelligence.
Shit.
You don't have to reroll. What's your intelligence bonus?
It's still +1, so it would have been the same.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, you rolled great. I'm trying to think if there's anything to notice. Like you're looking for Sybil Alders. She's not there. It looks pretty much the same way it did the last time that the Emira and the Cirrus were there. Yeah, it doesn't. I think you're comfortable saying, Booker, with no question. There's nothing hidden here. There's nothing that is not what it appears to be.
Okay. I guess I just tell her that.
Okay. All right.
From what I'm
So,
saying, it looks on the up and up. Nothing bad from here. Over.
Okay. And so you're sitting there, Crusader, and then there is a I guess there wouldn't be like an official like sound. Nobody like rings a gong or anything to let you know that he's coming in. The door to his office opens.
Listen,
And the
tell
people
me
in
if
front-
there is an official sound, because I got an assortment of things to make that sound. Okay.
So the people in the front notice it right away and they get quiet, and that wave of like hush kind of like washes backwards as people are like, oh, the door's opening. All right, quiet. And so the door opens and we see the pastor, Talat Lau, step out into the room. And he's wearing his usual kind of like, I'm one of you, but slightly elevated, right? Like he's wearing this outfit that is of the culture, but also indicates priesthood, right? Like he's got maybe like a church, like a shawl or a sash, something that he's wearing. And he walks in, he walks up to the pulpit, and he takes a moment to survey the crowd. He looks back and forth, and his eyes fall on the Crusader, who rolled an 11 on his disguise check. Let's see how I do. So Talat Lau, gonna roll some dice.
I kind of want him. I do want him to see.
So if you've set the difficulty for me, if I get an 11 or a 12, then he's gonna recognize you. He's gonna know there's a Crusader in his midst. Any other roll, and he'll just smile passively at you. Here we go.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
Every time he gets one of these opportunities where it's like, oh fuck, this is real important. This is gonna shift how this whole thing happens.
So
but like
his
Mark wanted that. So
Yeah.
It's true.
So here's what happens. This is perfect. We're gonna. I think we'll go to break a little bit early. So here's what happens. His eyes like lock onto you, and he sees you, and I don't think he's capable of like holding the like you see his eyes widen a little bit. He recognizes you, and he's seeing a dead man who's probably here to kill him. He thinks his eyes go a little bit wide. The soundtrack indicates to all of us like the jig is fucking up. Things are about to escalate. And then we cut to break there. So we'll see. Maybe Crusader Gabriel's got to kill a church full of people. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll find out. So
These aren't people,
things-
Adam. Heretics.
Fair. That is true. Their doctrine deviates from your own by just enough that it invalidates their existence. Cool. All right, so we get the freeze frame on there. We get the fade out. We're gonna take a short break, and when we get back, we will see how the Crusader gets out of here, or if Mark needs to roll up yet again a new character. Stick around.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with more Verona.